Right, so Grandpa's Cabin Life. Here we are at the top of that trail. You can see kind of the rope that you can hold on to. Again, it's just rained and hailed, so this is probably going to be slick as hell. I am not going to video for the trip down. That would probably get a little ugly, and myself and the phone could go flying, but hopefully tomorrow when I'm hooked up with my GoPro, we'll actually video it. So, all right, guys, here we go. You can see the river down there in the background. So, yeah, hopefully we're going to be fishing in about the next 5 minutes, and we'll keep you guys up there. So here we are down on the river. Not, again, not too many people. You always get a couple of drift boats that are coming through, especially on the weekends. Oh, looks like somebody is on. He's hooked up. Let's see if we can land him. So we can zoom in without dropping my phone. So the guide got out of the boat to see if he could net the fish, which is sometimes easier said than done, but clearly he has done it a time or two. So there's a fish. That looks like a king salmon. And then if we kind of come back over here while I was filming that, this gentleman here just lost one. And if you've never been here before, so that's kind of the size fish we're looking at. That's probably about a 15 or 20 pound king salmon. And what happens is these guys come up to spawn, and once they spawn, they die. So all these dead fish go to really the ecosystem between seagulls and crawfish and all sorts of bottom dwellers, and it adds nutrients. So yeah, it is truly the circle of life. So what we're going to do, I am going to wade out a little bit to get across. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can see that fish going into the boat on the stringer. And yeah, so we're going to go do some fishing. Again, Salmon River. We're up here in Altmar, New York. And yeah, talk to you soon. Hey everybody, good morning. Grandpa's Cabin Life here on Instagram and YouTube. We are at the Great Salmon River. We are in the Altmar, New York section behind Fox Hollow Lodge. Straight ahead, right in that hole there. That yesterday was stacked with king salmon. It is not today. Also, a lot of these little small runs and pools that have held salmon typically are not holding them today. So a lot of times what will happen is that these salmon will do what's called a push. So they'll be stacked at the mouth of the river. Hold on, you know what, I'm going to turn that. Grandpa's Cabin Life, how we doing? So we are up here. We are actually waiting for the fish to come back. Again, as we talked about, they'll usually push through in pods. So the fish that were hanging here the last couple of days have likely moved further upstream. And now it's really a matter of waiting for the next batch. I've seen a couple of individual salmon come up. Haven't been able to get a cast to them, so we'll keep a close eye. Just real quick, I mean, definitely not the definitive, and I am not the guy to go to for info on catching steelhead or salmon, but basically not a very expensive setup. This is a river sider. It's an 8-weight, 10-foot fly rod using egg patterns. That one particularly I tied. I'll show you the fly box later. The reel for this is a Cabela's. It's an RLS 3. Again, this is the reel for an 8 to 9 weight rod. But yeah, so not a lot going on. If you're familiar with the area, I got this rod actually when my other fly rod snapped. Got this at Fat Nancy's, which is an iconic tackle shop up here in the Salmon River area. It's one of those things, if you've been up here, you know it. And they have everything that you need. So we're going to go back to keeping an eye out for salmon. And I will show you the fly box later on. to give you some idea of what it is we are
So
fishing.
they'll be stacked at the mouth of the river, and whatever goes through their little salmon mines triggers the push upstream, so they'll enter the river, and then they'll push upstream to where they're eventually going to spawn. So it can be 2 fish at a time, it could be pods of dozens of salmon at a time pushing up. And again, it's a long stretch of river, so depending upon where you are, and what the salmon are doing, you may or may not see any. Like I said yesterday, we had fish everywhere. Right now, there's not much going on. That could change in literally minutes, from no fish to just fish stacked all over the place. So yeah, that's why it's fishing, not catching. We're going to be up here giving it the good effort. Got out the cabin a little bit late. Didn't get out until a little after 11. Slept in, had a nice breakfast, read the newspaper. So it is, after all, vacation. And the older I get, the more I realize that fish also sleep in. So we're out here. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what goes on. You saw the picture of the fish from yesterday. That's typically what we're after. There are some that are bigger than that. You will occasionally get king salmon in the range of 40 pounds coming up this river that you will hook into. So yeah, just having a great day, right? A bad day fishing still better than a good day working. So you guys, hope you're having a great time doing whatever it is you're doing. Grandpa's Cabin Life will talk to you soon.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about flies and what we're using. Again, we talked about that the salmon, the kings and the cohos, are generally not feeding once they hit the river. So you're basically looking to get them to strike either out of instinct or out of anger, or sometimes you catch it where you drift the fly by and they will constantly open and close their mouth as they're swimming and in the water, and you will sometimes just get lucky and hook them. Whereas the steelhead and the trout will feed the entire trip up. So this is the fly box I carry with me. It is a combination of egg patterns, and you have these kinds of flies that are called Estes flies. They're basically made to look like an egg, again, either orange or yellow. Blues particularly that's kind of a bluey green, are good for steelhead. They seem to like the blue color. They will also go after any of the other colors because the steelhead feed on salmon eggs. This particular floofy thing is meant to look like fertilized salmon eggs that are floating in the stream. And you can see really various colors. We have whites, we have blues, we have oranges, we have yellows. We also have, let me dig this out, these are soft rubber eggs that these particular ones I tie myself and just kind of secure the egg patterns onto a hook. So it looks like, as it's floating in the water, a cluster of salmon eggs, because this is pretty much what they look like when they come out of a female salmon. Is just like that. So on the other side of this box, you'll notice there's more of an assortment of egg patterns. These with sort of the orange with the red dot are fertilized eggs. And you can see the same thing. There's pink, there's yellow. There's some of the actual egg patterns with that I tied. I've caught some salmon on those. I've even caught some steelhead on them. But I haven't got my technique quite down yet, and they do tend to fall apart kind of quickly. So, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what we're using. Again, you've got some guys that will swear by woolly buggers. You've got some guys will swear by anything the color purple. It really comes down to what you find works for you, and what the fish are in the mood for. Again, salmon are challenging because they're, for the most part, not feeding. So trying to get them to strike is a project, whereas salmon and steelhead and trout are feeding on their trip up. So again, by no means am I an expert in this. Definitely check out the YouTube channels with folks who steelhead fish and salmon fish professionally. You'll get much more advice on how to rig up and what to use and things like that. Again, for me, I'm fly fishing for these salmon, so You saw the pictures of the one I got yesterday, the nice size one, and then the smaller Jake that I got the first day up here. I'm happy with that. If I don't catch any other fish, I mean, today was slow, so I had 4 hookups, lost all 4. So yeah, for me, that's a good day. If I leave catching a fish after 3 days here at Fox Hollow Lodge, you know what? I am happy as a clam. So yep, we got tomorrow, which is our last full day up here, and then we have to be on our way by noontime on Saturday. So river was pretty quiet today, not a lot of action, singles and pairs of salmon pushing up. Uh, the upside is they're healthy looking fish, so they have not been in the river long. If you fish salmon up here for any length of time, everybody's very aware of what they call zombie salmon. And these are salmon that have just not made it all the way upstream to spawn, or they've spawned and they're spawned out, and their color takes on a very black appearance, and they start to lose scales, and they have these big white patches where the scales are off. So yeah, those are zombie salmon. Don't try and catch them. You don't want them. The taste of healthy salmon is not all that great in my opinion, hence the reason I smoke them. But those zombie salmon are all, they're done. So yeah, leave them alone. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. Again, this is going to be part of a video series up on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, no pro by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a blast to get up here and spend some time. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon, guys. Grandpa's Cabin Life, Instagram and YouTube. Check it out. If you haven't gotten the book, A Cabin in 40 Acres, by all means, go ahead out and pick it up. Amazon, anywhere where books are available. And
hey guys, Grandpa's Cabin Life. Just a side note, I wanted to add this video to the other series of videos that I combined that's up on the YouTube channel. 2 other things that you need if you were coming up here. You need excellent polarized glasses. 2 reasons you need that to spot the fish, because a lot of this is spot casting. You see the fish, you cast it, and you try and get the right drift. So yeah, you really need good polarized glasses in order to see the salmon. Additionally, the bottom of the Salmon River is super slippery. The polarized glasses also help you see where you are stepping and avoid those larger holes and keep you from falling and getting soaking wet. So good polarized glasses. The other thing that I can't show you because I'm currently standing on them, my wading shoes have metal cleats on them. That is essential, actually for most rivers. Any kind of moss or slime on the rocks makes it extremely, extremely slippery. The metal cleats help you get a good bite and a good purchase while you're walking, so your legs don't slip out from underneath you. So those are 2 definite things for your equipment bag. Polarized sunglasses, and these are Costas. I think I don't think my son got these for me for Christmas. And the wading shoes are from Cabela's, and you can screw the little metal grommets into the bottom of them. I recommend when you're doing that, you also use crazy glue. Put the crazy glue on the screw part of the cleat, and that helps them stay in place in your boot a lot better. So I'll add this on to the other videos that are going up on YouTube. It was just sort of a thought that I wanted to add in because it's important. Staying safe and not ending up in the water are huge. And as I'm making this video and talking, 2 salmon just shot up past me. So, all right, I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to stop videoing, get back to what I came here to do, which was fish. And we'll see what happens today. All right, guys, take care.